Hey guys, first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to all the people that would have subscribed to my channel and to the persons that would have shared the video, that would have been commenting on the video and leaving all of those motivational comments to let me know that they're watching, that they're engaging, and the person that are asking for more videos. I would just like to say thank you very much for your support, and I hope that you guys continue to support me as I try to build this channel and that we can grow together. So you guys must have said that I haven't posted a video in 7 days. The truth is, it's not easy being a single dad. Life be having me at most. Right now, it's already in the evening, and now I'm actually getting a chance to post a video because baby's asleep. But I'm gonna try my best to see how I can post daily, if possible. You guys can feel free to leave questions in the comment section about anything that you may want to know, or any advice that the young parents may want to get from me about my experience or my journey so far. And I will respond to you guys to the questions in the new videos, in which I will be posting after. Also, you guys can check out my TikTok page or my Instagram page, where I'm also trying to build. And you guys can also send the questions there if you would like, because a lot of people might think that it's personal and they don't want anyone to know what question they're asking. So you can feel free to hit me up on my TikTok page, send the questions, and I'll answer it in the video, but I will not mention your name. It's up to you. So guys, today's video is going to basically be about how tough it was moving to a new country as a young single father, and some of the challenges that I would have faced and what the journey has been like so far. So before I get into that, I'm going to give you guys a little brief about my life before I would have moved. So after my child mother would have walked out and I was left to take on the responsibility of bringing my daughter up on my own, I would have continued life as I would have mentioned in my previous video, and I would have done everything that I needed to do to ensure that my daughter is being well taken care of on a daily basis. Nevertheless, my business would have collapsed due to my child mother would have betrayed me along with my ex-best friend, and they would have made my entire business collapse, stealing millions of dollars from me and basically putting my life back to the ground. And it was not easy. So at that point in time, I would have picked myself up along with my daughter and I would have left the country. And I traveled to Colombia, where I would have spent a period of time. I traveled almost every city in Colombia, experiencing different culture for a period of months, which I would have learned so much. I even picked up a bit of Spanish, and it was not a bad experience. I then went back home to my country, where my plan was to basically rebuild my business, rebuild my life, and try to get things back in order. But due to some personal circumstances, which I don't want to discuss at this moment, I had to leave my country. So moving to the UK was never a part of my plan. I couldn't have seen myself living in the United Kingdom 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I never thought I would have been here today. I never planned that I wanted to leave my country behind. I never planned that I wanted to live in any country that is this cold, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. After moving to the United Kingdom, it was not easy at all, because it was basically adapting to an entire different country, which, if most of you know, growing and living in the Caribbean your entire life, when you finally move to a foreign, as they call these countries, it is going to be very hard to adapt. So first off, it was the weather. I moved to the United Kingdom in the winter season. It was not easy, trust me. I came from a country that was very hot. I would have experienced some cold, but not as cold as the United Kingdom, because while in Colombia, I spent some time in Bogota, Colombia, which is the capital city. And for persons who would have traveled there before would know that Colombia is basically about 14 degrees Celsius all year round at average. So I did experience some cold in Colombia, but it was never as cold as it is in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom 14 is way different than 14 in Colombia, because 14 in the United Kingdom makes me want to put on about 5 pair of clothing to go outside, because my face burns, my fingertip burns, and then I'm also worried about my daughter. So I be having to put on so much clothing on her, putting on mittens, putting on extra socks before I take her outside. And when I moved first, I had no prior knowledge of how to exactly dress for the winter season. Like I had no idea about uh, the long johns and these kind of stuff to wear. So it was very, very difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie. My first few weeks in UK, I stayed inside almost every day. I didn't want to go outside. And when I do go outside, I rush to go back inside because my fingertips would burn, my face would freeze, it would be like frozen. I would literally be seeing smoke coming out of my mouth from how cold the place is. And I really felt like I was in a refrigerator. My daughter never really showed me any signs that she was ever cold after moving, because when we're outside it's like she's never actually trembling, she's never actually showing any signs that she's cold. So it's actually kind of like weird, I would say, to see how easy it was for her to adapt. And I know that a lot of people would have heard this, and you guys may be saying that, hey, how can it be depressing to live in a country like the United Kingdom? I mean, like, it's the UK we're talking about. But it actually is very depressing, and it's because of the atmosphere itself. So basically, you would wake up in the morning, you might see a beautiful blue sky with the sun out, and then within 10 minutes, you would see the entire sky goes gray. Within 30 minutes, it may turn back blue again. And within 30 minutes again, it might start raining. So the weather is so unpredictable and it makes you so depressed because you can plan a day outing or something, and then the weather just changes. And I'd like to believe that the weather app should actually be helping, but a lot of times the weather app be getting it wrong because it will show that we're expecting rain and sometimes we see snow. I literally saw snow in the month of March about 3 days ago. I was outside. Like snow was literally falling where I live in the United Kingdom. And that was so weird for me because when I look at my phone, it's just showing that I'm expecting light rain, but then I see a lot of snow falling on me. So it was crazy. Beside the weather, it was also very challenging for me because my circumstances of moving to the UK was through legal grounds indeed, but it's there's a lot of delay in the process of me getting my papers right. I would have moved under legal immigration, but when it comes to me working, my papers have not been processed up to this point, and I've been in the UK for quite some time, and that is one of the most challenging parts of being in the United Kingdom. One of the most challenging parts of me moving across borders. I don't have the right to work as yet. And a lot of people might say that you can pick yourself up and you can go do work. You can go work illegally, try to get a cash in hand job or whatever. You should wait for the right documentations before you actually start to work. If they say no work, you do not work. Because if you do work, you mess up your immigration. I remember technically you would have moved to this country. You'd like to ensure that you have a clear record when it comes to anything. Nevertheless, for days it would be very depressing. The weather is depressing. I have stress on the other hand because I've always known myself as someone that works to provide, and being at home, taking care of my daughter, and not being able to work is very, very challenging. So survival was actually on, like really on. And I was fighting with my mental health while taking care of my child. And I would like to believe that I'm still fighting with my mental health on a daily basis because it really bothers me that I cannot go there and I cannot work at this point, that I need to wait. Most people that would have moved to the UK can tell you guys that the process is not easy. It's to move to the UK. Even after you move, you face a lot of challenges when it comes to the legal immigration system. So, in order to fight with my mental health issues, with me stressing about life itself, I decided that I was going to take up social media. So, I would spend a lot of time on TikTok, speaking to people, being on TikTok live, making videos, and socializing basically online. I even tried going outside, but a lot of time it was very cold because, as I told you guys, when I came first, it was in the winter season, which was very, very difficult for me to go outside as a Caribbean born young man that knows about the sun basically pasting into your skin. Like if you were in a oven or I don't know how to explain the feeling when you're in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, we run from the sun. Like we're walking outside, we literally try to get on the shade. In the UK, I run into the sun. I'm walking outside and the sun comes out. I literally want to be in the sun. I don't want the sun to be out and I'm not in it. If I see the sun, I want to stand in the sun. So at that period of time, we were barely seeing the sun because it was winter, and if we did saw the sun, it would probably be like 20 30 minutes a day sometimes. It was just rain all the time, snow. It was a mess. I spent time traveling, and despite I'm living in the UK, it still feels as though I'm a tourist. I feel as though I'm on vacation because not being able to work and basically just being here, it makes you feel as though you're not living. Nevertheless, it's been months since I've been here. It's almost going on to a year. Also, moving to a country where you have no one, because I literally have no one in the United Kingdom. There's no friends or family that I can go by or that I can rely on. My family is in the United States. My mom and my other family members are in my home country, which is Guyana. Yes, let me clear that up. I'm actually from Guyana. I was born in Guyana, I was raised in Guyana, and I spent most of my life in Guyana. I would have toured a lot of countries to experience a different air, different culture, but I am Guyanese born, and that's my nationality. Nevertheless, as I was saying earlier, it's very, very difficult when you move to a country and you have no family members, you have no one that you can literally go to. So when it comes to family members, it was like always on the phone. Like if I'm to speak to any family members on the phone, I can never say that I'm actually gonna pick myself up and go to a family member. So that was also another very, very challenging part for me because I had no one in the UK. I still have no one in the UK technically at this point. And when it comes to making friends in the UK, I don't know what you guys think, but I think that British people are very not friendly. Well, they are polite, but when I say not friendly, I mean like they're not the kind that are like would just be friends with people and these kind of stuff. And they usually just laugh your accent. Like every British person that I've spoken to from my time being here, they would have laughed my accent, and I don't know why. And it's crazy to know that they're laughing my accent when I myself, in my head, I be thinking that they speak funny. But I guess it's just how we think, because going in the Caribbean, as you guys know, we speak broken English in most parts of the Caribbean. In my country, we spoke Guyanese Creoles, but I speak proper English, which somehow it falls more on the US side of English. So people say that I speak US English and not British English. So apparently, because I don't silent my T's when I speak, and I can't put on that accent, it's funny to them. So making friends has been very hard for me. I haven't been able to make any friends in the UK so far. I have met persons that are from the Caribbean and we would speak, but when it comes to friendship goes really deep, and not everyone that you speak to is actually your friend, and that's something that needs to be taken into consideration. So yes, I have met persons, but I wouldn't exactly say that we're friends or nothing like that. So having no one in the UK, depressing weather, unable to go outside, unable to work, uh, rain always falling, that's like the most toughest part of moving. That's been the most toughest part of moving. In addition to all this, let's not forget how expensive things are in the UK. Because the cost of living in the UK, I think as though this economy is just messed up. Like when I look at what people are being paid in comparison to the cost of living in the United Kingdom, it's like I'm in my country still. But just in my country, I would have had to find ways to make money, which was through business investments to actually survive. In my country, I was making about 30,000 to 40,000 USD a month through my business because, as I told you guys, I had a car dealership. So moving to the UK and then seeing what persons make for working a 9 to 5, and the salary is like nothing in comparison to what I actually used to make, is like very stressful as well. And all I'm not making this money as yet, it's like it makes me wonder how tough it's going to be to actually rise back in the UK. I've gotten so many business ideas that I want to invest into in the UK, but it all comes back to making money. And the cost of living in the UK is very expensive, especially when you have to pay rent. And as far as I'm concerned, most of the persons in the UK do not actually own their own house. They pay rent. The cost for rent in the UK is very expensive, like very, very expensive. You get a one bedroom house for probably like about £1,200 in some places. You want to live in London, it's going to be so much more expensive. You want to live in some major cities, you're going to spend way more money. So when looking at these kind of stuff, and the actual salary that most people make on a 9 to 5 is sometimes £1,700, 1,600. There are persons that literally work for less money than that and need to survive. So having a child in the UK and making that kind of money, it's gonna be so hard to actually survive. As of right now, I'm not working. I'm not paying any rent, so it's not, the stress is not on me as yet for that part, but I know it's going to be way tougher when it hits that. So my plan is to try to see any way that I can actually make money legally, make some money, so that I can actually invest into a business as soon as those papers are fixed. So I have some business ideas that I want to try out, which I think can be very profitable and can really grow over time, so that it can bring in an income. And one thing I've learned in life is that if you don't try to flip your money and make more money by using that money, it's gonna finish and you're gonna end up back to square one. So my view in life is that as much money as I make, I need to find a way to flip it. And I also like to give charity. Like I really like to give to people. I can have my last money and I'm going to give a short story. So I remember when I came to the UK first, and I was walking with my daughter to go get something to eat at the mall. So the mall was in walking distance from where we were staying. So I'm walking, I have my daughter in my hands, and there's this lady sitting in the cold with no jacket. And she asked me for a pound. And I'm like, "Are you hungry?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "I don't have a pound, but I'm gonna see to get you something to eat." Keep in mind, I didn't have any pound change. I don't know how much you guys know about UK currency, but in the UK, a pound is a coin. And Caribbean, I don't know if it's a Caribbean people thing or it's a Guyanese thing or whatever, but we don't like coins. My country have coins, but I don't like coins. I don't like to have coins in my pocket, so I don't walk around with coins. If I get coins, I try to get it out of. I give it away at a set time. Sometimes I don't collect it and these kind of stuff. But I really need to start keeping those coins because in the UK, the coins are actually worth way too much to be giving them away just like that. Nevertheless, I continued walking. I got something to eat. And then when I finished getting what I went to get to eat, because I went for Caribbean food, and this was a white lady, I went to this place called Dixie that sells chicken and pizza. And I purchased a 12-inch pizza and I took it back for her on my way back home. And I gave it to her. And every time this lady saw me after walking, this lady would not ask me for money. Instead, she would ask me, "How are you? Are you okay?" And I would respond to her. And right before I moved from the last place I was staying, before I moved from that place, I had a coat which was very big for me, and I took it and I gave it to her along with one of my hoodies in which I would have purchased like probably 3 weeks before then, because I knew that I was moving and I knew that I wouldn't be able to see her anymore. And I told her, I said, "You need to wear this as much as you can because this place is not easy to be sitting outside without wearing any proper clothing." And she said, "Thanks." And she asked me if I'm good. I didn't tell her that I was moving or anything, but I do intend that once I make it in this life, once I'm able to stand financially stable again, I am going to go and try to help her to get out of the streets because I don't actually know her story or why she's there, but I know for a fact that nobody should be living in these conditions in the UK. Nobody should be homeless based on the temperature in the UK. I don't think people should be homeless. People should be off of the streets. And it was just a shame for me to actually see people homeless on the streets. I don't know what it is about me, but when it comes to people in general, I really do care a lot about people. We don't even have to be family, friends, if I see someone suffering or someone needs assistance, I'm going to assist you as long as I can. Even if I cannot give it to you at the set time, and I tell you that I'm going to come back to give it to you, I will stand on my words and I will ensure that I find you to give you whatever I tell you that I'm going to give you. While I was living in Guyana, I helped so many people. I did so much charity. I remember this one Christmas time, I would have purchased over 250 uh, bags of presents I would have packed, and I would have taken it to one of the poorest neighborhoods in Guyana, and I would have shared it on Christmas morning. I packed up an entire canter filled with all of those bags, and I traveled with my mom, my dad, my sisters, and we went and we shared. And it felt so good giving to people. For some reason, I believe that the more you give, the more you're going to receive. And people will look at this thing as though if you spend $1 million to give stuff, or you give $1 million out, you're supposed to receive $2 million from God. But it don't work that way. God opened doors in which He gives you opportunity to make back that money and more. So if I can give, I always try my best to give. I really believe that people need assistance whenever whenever they're not in the right position. And I'm not saying that I'm ever looking back for anything in return, but only God knows. Maybe one day, one of those same persons that I would have helped in this life might turn back to me and be like, hey, look. And I might be surprised to see that that's a big millionaire, a big billionaire in this life. So I just give. I don't judge people. I don't care how homeless you look, how bad you look. I don't categorize people. I don't believe that I'm above anyone in this life. We're all humans. We came on this earth, and a lot of us make mistakes and we fall. I've been on my face so many times, as I told you guys before. I born poor, I grew poor. I know what I needed, not what I wanted. So when it comes to seeing people struggle, it really touches me. And my daughter is picking up that same habit. My daughter is literally picking up the same habit that I have, because I just remember another story. When was Christmas Eve, I took my daughter to the mall to take a picture with Santa Claus. So I went into the line and everything. And then when we got out of the mall, like right in front of the mall, there was a little boy that was sitting with his mom. At this time, I didn't have much money, but remember I told you guys I don't like to walk with coins. So I would put the coins in the house, and my daughter would pick them up, and she would put them into her purse. So she had her purse that day, her bag in her hand while we came out of the mall, and I saw her walking towards the guy. So she don't like me holding her hands when she's walking. She thinks that she's a grown woman. I swear to God, I don't be knowing what be going through her mind when she's on the road, but she literally walks like an adult. She doesn't walk in the middle of the road, she walks in the corner. She walks straight. She walks next to me. I don't need to hold her hand. I can be on my phone. I can be looking somewhere else, and she's gonna stop. If I stop, she's not gonna walk away. She's well behaved, and she behaves as though she's well trained for the road. Nevertheless, I saw this lady and her son sitting, and I saw my daughter walking towards them, and the little boy like had his hands out, and he was begging, but I heard him, but like I didn't process it. But my daughter walked towards him, and she was like trying to open her bag, so I was like, baby, I don't have money, and it's like she's trying to open her bag, but like she can't speak, so she can't tell me that dad I have money. She can't tell me that, but she's trying to open the bag. So I take the bag from her and I'm like shaking it, and I hear the coins. So I open the bag, all of the coins are in there, probably like about 25 pounds in coins she have in her bag. So I take out the coin, I give it to her in her hand, and she puts it in the little boy's hand. And it really touched me to see what she did, because it's like she know what I do, and she decided that she wants to do exactly what her dad does. It's like she wants to give, and she has a good heart. My daughter really, really have a good heart, and that's really, really touching to see the way she dealt with that day. And she's very friendly. She's very kind when it comes to people. This child is very, very kind. I don't know, it's like she was born with my heart, and I'm so happy that she was. Those are basically the challenges that I faced and what it was like moving across borders with as a young single father, and basically coming to an entire different country, having to restart life and having a child in the picture. So that's basically all I have to say for this video. Even though that things are hard right now, I know that I'm doing it for my daughter, because everything that I do every single day, She's always in my thought. Every decision that I make, it's always about how can this affect her? How can my decisions affect her? And if it's not in the best interest of her, then I really rethink before uh, acting on certain things. So everything that I'm doing for my daughter. And despite that, I know it's hard right now and the journey is tough. I know that things are going to get better because I have faith in God. And I'm going to continue trying my best to give her the life that I've never had, as I would have mentioned before. And I'm going to continue trying my best to ensure that she grows up to be outstanding individual in this life. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comments because your interactions and your shares and likes is what's making YouTube push my video and it's helping me to build my channel. And I would really like to share my journey with as much people as possible. There are people all over the world that may be going through a lot or maybe going through the same challenges that I face, and I just like to share what I've experienced so far as a young single dad, and hopefully help those who needs the little motivation and the push on a daily basis to go through life. Another videos are going to be coming soon. I'll try my best to give you guys videos probably every day or every other day if possible. But if you guys don't see videos coming, you can always check on my TikTok. My TikTok name is in my YouTube page bio, which is actually one Mr. Exclusive. You guys can check that out. You guys can also follow there. You're gonna see videos there because I try my best to post on there as well. So that's all for today, guys. And once again, I'd like to thank you guys for the support that you guys would have given me after posting my first video and all the positive comments that I would have received. And I really appreciate you guys. Let's go together.